It was raining in Bangkok on July 3, 2026, and it didn't matter at all. Hundreds of fans had already been lined up outside Central World since early morning. Soaked, waiting for a single moment, Lisa, stepping into the Ultimune studio pop-up built entirely around her. Umbrellas up, phones charged, cameras ready, nobody was leaving, no matter how long the wait or how heavy the downpour got. Within hours, her name was trending worldwide. On the surface, this was a skincare brand activation, a pop-up event, a photo op, a product tie-in. But the reaction that followed went far beyond anything a typical beauty campaign generates. Screens lit up across continents with the same few clips, the same handful of photos, shared and reshared until it stopped looking like a regional story and started looking like a worldwide one. So what actually made this particular moment explode the way it did? Let's walk through what actually happened in Bangkok that day and why it resonated so far beyond it. This video breaks down exactly what happened at Shiseido's Ultimune studio pop-up in Bangkok, the event itself, the crowd, the viral moment, and unpacks why an appearance like this one had the reach and impact of a global cultural event, not just a brand campaign. Part 1. Who is Lisa? For anyone less familiar with her, here's a quick primer. Lisa rose to global fame as a member of Blackpink, one of the best-selling K-pop groups in history, known for record-breaking stadium tours and a massive international fan base. Alongside the group, she's built a substantial solo career of her own, with chart-topping singles, her own entertainment venture, and an expanding acting resume. Beyond music, Lisa has become one of the most sought-after faces in global fashion and beauty branding. She's reportedly one of the most followed musicians in the world on social media, a reach that beauty and luxury brands have increasingly leveraged through ambassador partnerships and campaigns. Her public appearances, whether on a stadium stage or at a single-branded event, routinely generate outsized attention simply because of the size and engagement of the audience following her. She's also maintained a deep public connection to her home country of Thailand throughout her career, frequently returning for cultural and brand appearances even as her global profile has grown. That combination, international superstardom paired with a genuine, ongoing connection to Thailand specifically, is part of what made a Bangkok event carry extra significance, both for her fans and for the brand hosting it. That combination of factors is essential context for understanding the Bangkok event. This wasn't just any celebrity showing up to a pop-up. It was one of the most closely watched public figures on the planet, appearing in person, in a country she has deep personal roots in. Part 2. What is Ultimune Studio, and why Shiseido chose Bangkok? So what exactly was this event? Ultimune Studio, Lisa's backstage, was a pop-up experience organized by Shiseido, built around the brand's flagship Ultimune skincare line, for which Lisa serves as a global ambassador. Rather than a simple product display, the pop-up was designed as an immersive experience themed around Lisa's own pre-performance beauty routine, inviting visitors to step into a recreation of her backstage environment, complete with exclusive behind-the-scenes content and interactive zones. The event reportedly also tied in a creative collaboration with artist Verdi, adding a contemporary art and design dimension to the beauty-focused experience that went beyond a standard skincare showcase. The event ran from July 1st through July 9th, 2026, with Lisa's in-person appearance taking place specifically on July 3rd, meaning the pop-up itself stayed open to the public for a full 9 days, giving fans who couldn't attend on the day of her appearance a chance to still visit the space afterward. According to reports covering the event, this activation reportedly represented one of Shiseido's largest Asia-Pacific brand activations to date, a signal of just how significant the company considers this market and this ambassador to its regional strategy. Choosing Bangkok specifically also carries an obvious logic. It's Lisa's home country, and staging a major activation there lets Shiseido combine her global fame with a genuine home turf moment in one of Southeast Asia's most prominent retail and entertainment venues. Central World itself is one of the largest shopping complexes in Southeast Asia, a venue regularly used for major brand activations and public events specifically because of its capacity to handle exactly the kind of large-scale public turnout this event ended up drawing. Positioning the pop-up there meant Shiseido could accommodate a genuinely massive in-person audience while still keeping the experience curated and immersive, rather than simply a crowded retail floor. For Shiseido, the appeal is straightforward. A pop-up like this doesn't just sell a skincare line, it turns the shopping experience itself into a piece of content fans want to see, share, and revisit, value that extends well past the 9 days the physical event actually ran. An immersive, story-driven activation, built around an ambassador's real personal routine rather than generic product messaging, gives fans a reason to engage with the brand as enthusiastically as they would with the celebrity herself. Part 3. That day in Bangkok, what actually happened. Here's the actual, documented timeline of what happened on the ground. According to multiple reports, more than 600 fans reportedly began lining up outside Central World from early morning on July 3rd, despite heavy rain throughout the day. The scale of the crowd reportedly required police involvement to help manage the flow of attendees around the venue, a detail that itself became part of the story circulating online, underscoring just how significant the turnout was for what was, on paper, a branded retail event. When Lisa arrived, she reportedly appeared in an off-shoulder white gown with a draped silhouette and a thigh-high slit, paired with soft waves and minimal accessories. Photos and video from the event show her greeting the crowd, posing for photographers, and interacting warmly with fans, waving, smiling, and by multiple accounts expressing gratitude for their support despite the weather. Inside the venue, the pop-up itself gave fans a chance to move through the immersive, backstage-themed zones described earlier, pairing Lisa's actual appearance with an experience fans could continue exploring even after she'd left. That combination of a live, in-person moment and a lasting walkthrough experience is part of what distinguished this from a typical brief celebrity meet-and-greet. Visitors reportedly moved through themed photo areas built around her performance looks and personal style, alongside displays highlighting the Ultimune products themselves, giving the day a structure closer to a museum-style exhibit than a standard retail appearance. She wasn't the only notable name at the event. Thai actor and public figure Win Manoban was reportedly among the attendees, alongside several other prominent Thai celebrities who made appearances throughout the day. Perhaps most unexpectedly, Bollywood actress Tamannaah Bhatia was also reportedly in attendance, representing a distinctly different entertainment industry and fan base, a detail that added an extra cross-cultural layer to the coverage that followed, with images of Lisa and Tamannaah together circulating widely online. That pairing struck a particular chord with fans precisely because it wasn't something anyone had specifically anticipated. Two major stars from entirely separate entertainment industries and fan cultures, photographed together at the same event, gave the story an extra layer of novelty that a single celebrity appearance alone wouldn't have generated. Put together, it was a single afternoon that combined a devoted fan turnout, a high-fashion moment, and an unexpected cross-industry celebrity crossover, more than enough raw material for a viral news cycle, even before the social media response kicked in. Part 4. The social media explosion. How this became a global trend. Within hours of Lisa's appearance, clips and photos from the event were circulating well beyond Thailand, and hashtags connected to the appearance reportedly began trending across multiple countries simultaneously. Beauty influencers and K-pop content creators who attended the event reportedly produced their own coverage almost immediately, generating professional quality photo and video content that reached audiences far beyond Lisa's existing fan base, effectively introducing the Ultimune product line to entirely new potential customers in the process. This is a distinct dynamic from a typical celebrity sighting. Influencers attending specifically to document the event meant polished, high-quality content was flowing out from the very first moments, rather than only grainy fan-shot phone footage. Fan accounts, meanwhile, shared close-up photos and clips of Lisa's interactions with the crowd, several of which reportedly amassed millions of views within a matter of hours. Regional media outlets across Southeast Asia also picked up coverage of the celebrity appearances quickly, which further amplified the story well beyond the fan communities who might have been tracking the event in advance. International entertainment and lifestyle publications outside the region followed within the same news cycle, treating the event as a legitimate cross-border culture story rather than a niche fan community update. Online reactions to the appearance were reportedly overwhelmingly positive, with many describing her look and presence in glowing terms and praising both her fashion choices and what fans saw as effortless warmth with the crowd. Some commentary specifically highlighted how genuine the interaction felt given the weather conditions, framing her willingness to stay out and engage with soaked, waiting fans as part of what made the moment land so well. That combination, a devoted in-person fan turnout, professional-grade influencer content, and an enthusiastic online reaction, is essentially the modern formula for a moment to travel from a single mall in Bangkok to a globally trending topic in under a day. Part 5. Why moments like this always break the internet. It's worth pausing here to actually unpack why a brand pop-up of all things can generate this level of global attention. Because the phenomenon itself is genuinely interesting, separate from anything specific to this one event. Part of the answer is simple scarcity. Stadium concerts put an artist in front of tens of thousands of people at once. But an event like this, a single afternoon appearance at one venue, offers something rarer, a smaller, more intimate feeling glimpse of a global star. close enough that fans in the crowd could genuinely wave, be seen, and be acknowledged in return. That kind of proximity is exactly what large-scale touring can't offer, and it tends to produce content that feels more personal and more shareable. A stadium show gives fans a shared memory among tens of thousands of other people. An appearance like this one gives fans in the front rows something that feels, however briefly, like a direct exchange. There's also the visual language K-pop has become known for globally. Meticulously coordinated styling, camera-ready choreography of movement even in a non-performance setting, and an industry-wide culture of treating public appearances as fully produced visual moments. That Polish translates unusually well to short-form video and image-based social platforms, which reward exactly this kind of highly shareable, visually striking content. For brands, moments like this represent something close to marketing's ideal outcome, an activation that doesn't feel like an advertisement so much as a cultural event fans actively want to participate in and document themselves. When an ambassador's public appearance generates organic, enthusiastic coverage from fans and influencers alike, it extends a brand's reach in a way that paid advertising alone typically can't replicate. There's also a simpler emotional layer worth naming. Fans who have followed an artist for years often feel a genuine personal investment in seeing them recognized and celebrated, especially in a home country setting like this one. Watching hundreds of people wait in the rain just to catch a glimpse of someone they admire is, on its own, a fairly compelling piece of content, completely independent of the beauty brand or product line involved. None of this requires any hidden explanation. It's simply what happens when genuine fan devotion, a rare in-person appearance, and the reach of modern social media all line up around the same afternoon. Part 6. The bigger pattern: celebrities, beauty, and global marketing. It's also worth placing this event in a broader industry context because none of this is unique to Lisa or to Shiseido. Major beauty and luxury brands have for years increasingly turned to global entertainment figures as ambassadors specifically because of the reach and engagement they bring, a well-established, mutually beneficial arrangement that's become close to standard practice across the industry. Pop stars, actors, and other cultural figures regularly headline pop-up experiences, product launches, and immersive brand activations precisely because their presence can generate the kind of organic online attention traditional advertising struggles to match. K-pop specifically has become an especially prominent part of this trend, as brands across beauty, fashion, and luxury increasingly recognize how effectively K-pop artists' global, highly engaged fan bases translate into cross-border marketing reach. Immersive, experience-driven pop-ups, rather than simple product displays, have also become an increasingly common format across the industry, precisely because they generate the kind of shareable content and first-hand fan experience that a static campaign image alone cannot. This shift also reflects a broader change in how brands think about return on investment for celebrity partnerships. A single well-executed activation, amplified organically through fan and influencer content, can generate a volume of impressions and engagement that would otherwise require a substantial paid media budget to achieve, making experiential events like this one an increasingly central part of how beauty and luxury companies plan their marketing calendars rather than an occasional novelty. Viewed through that lens, the Bangkok event isn't really an isolated viral moment so much as a particularly successful, well-executed example of a strategy brands across the industry have been leaning into for years. Part 7. What this moment says about fame in the social media era. Step back far enough, and this event says something bigger about how fame and marketing now function together in the social media era. The line between a brand event and a global cultural moment has become increasingly blurry. A single afternoon pop-up, built around one ambassador's beauty routine, can now generate the kind of worldwide attention that once would have required a major product launch, a film premiere, or an awards show appearance. That shift reflects just how much reach a single highly engaged global fan base can now provide, and how efficiently that reach travels once fans, influencers, and casual observers all start sharing the same content simultaneously. It also says something about modern celebrity itself. An artist's influence is no longer measured only in album sales or box office numbers, but in moments. Like this one, a single public appearance, amplified instantly across borders, languages, and entirely separate fan communities that don't normally overlap. A K-pop idol, a Thai actor, and a Bollywood star sharing the same viral frame would have been a fairly unusual crossover even a decade ago. Today, it's simply what happens when enough global fame converges on one afternoon, in one place. That convergence is worth sitting with for a moment, because it's genuinely new. A decade ago, an event like this would have likely stayed a regional story, covered by Thai entertainment press and shared mainly among existing fans. Instead, it moved through multiple entertainment ecosystems: K-pop, Bollywood, regional Thai media, and global beauty influencer networks, almost simultaneously, each treating it as their own story rather than someone else's. So, what really happened in Bangkok? At its core, a fairly simple story. A beloved global star made a rare in-person appearance in her home country for a beauty brand she genuinely represents, and hundreds of devoted fans showed up in the rain to be part of it. Everything that followed, the viral clips, the worldwide hashtags, the crossover moment with stars from an entirely different entertainment industry, was simply that scarcity and devotion playing out at internet speed. It's a reminder of just how far a single afternoon can travel now, when the right combination of fan devotion, visual polish, and global platform reach all line up at once. A pop-up that might once have stayed a regional retail story instead became something hundreds of thousands of people in dozens of countries felt like they'd personally witnessed. If you were following along as this trended, or if you're just discovering the story now, let us know in the comments what stood out most to you about the Bangkok event. And if you enjoyed this look at how a single appearance turned into a global moment, subscribe for more breakdowns of the pop culture stories everyone's talking about.